Reading practice in B2 English level.
The ultimate survival guide to adulthood. Packing your life capital's backpack. Welcome to adulthood. You have officially unsubscribed from the free trial of childhood and entered the premium version. Unfortunately, the subscription fee is your sanity, your daily energy, and a significant portion of your income that goes to taxes. You might have thought that graduating from school or university was the final boss of your youth. The truth is, that was just the tutorial level. The real game is just beginning, and the rules are completely different. Stepping into the real world is not just about getting a job, figuring out how to pay bills, or finally moving out of your parents' house. From a sociological perspective, it is much more complex than that. It is like entering a massive, chaotic marketplace where you constantly trade social values. You are no longer judged by a simple grading system from A to F. Instead, you are evaluated by your skills, your appearance, your network, and your ability to adapt. To survive and thrive in this environment without crying in the shower every morning, you cannot just walk in empty-handed and hope for the best. You need to prepare a very specific survival backpack. Based on the brilliant theories of sociologists like Pierre Bourdieu, this guide will show you how to build the 5 essential capitals you need to navigate this crazy journey. Grab a cup of coffee, you will need a lot of it from now on, and let us dive into the ultimate preparation guide for a young adult entering the real world.
Chapter 1: The Great Shift from School to Society. Before we talk about what to pack in your backpack, we need to understand the terrain you are walking into. The biggest shock for young people entering the real world is the sudden loss of structure. In school, you had a syllabus. You knew exactly what you had to do to get a good grade. If you read the book and passed the test, you succeeded. The real world does not have a syllabus. Society is ambiguous. You can do everything right, follow all the rules, work hard, and still not get the promotion. This is because society operates on an invisible system of capitals. Success is not just about raw intelligence or hard work. It is about how you present that hard work, who you know, and how resilient you are. When you step into this new phase of life, you must shift your mindset from being a student to being a project manager. And the most important project you will ever manage is yourself. You are the CEO of your own life. Therefore, you need to understand the different currencies that this new marketplace accepts. These currencies are physical, cultural, social, economic, and psychological capitals.
Chapter 2: Physical Capital: Managing Your Packaging and Your Engine. Let us address the elephant in the room immediately. Society judges a book by its cover. It is a harsh truth. You might be the smartest, kindest, and most hardworking person on the planet, but if you show up to a professional meeting looking like you just rolled out of bed after a 3-day gaming marathon, people will not take you seriously. This is not about vanity. This is what sociologists call physical capital. In the adult world, taking care of your appearance and your health is a strategic investment. It is the very first filter through which the world sees you. The power of the halo effect. Psychologists talk about something called the halo effect. This is a cognitive bias where we automatically assume that people who look neat, healthy, and well-dressed are also intelligent, reliable, and competent. Is it fair? Absolutely not. But is it real? 100%. When you dress appropriately and maintain good hygiene, you are triggering this psychological hack in other people's brains. You are sending a powerful, nonverbal signal that says, I have my life together. clothing as a language. You must start seeing clothing as a system of communication. Every environment has a dress code, even if it is not written down. Dressing well does not mean buying expensive designer clothes that you cannot afford. It means wearing clothes that fit you properly, are clean, and suit the context. A well-fitted, affordable shirt will always look better than a wrinkled, expensive one. When you dress well for a meeting, you are showing respect for the people you are meeting, and more importantly, respect for yourself. Your body is the engine. Physical capital is not just about the outside. It is about the inside. Think of your body as the engine of a car. A beautiful sports car is great to look at, but if the engine breaks down after 1 mile, the car is completely useless. Hitting the gym, going for a run, eating nutritious food, and getting 8 hours of sleep are fundamental requirements for adulthood. Modern life is exhausting. You will face stress, long working hours, and difficult people. If your physical health is poor, your mental health will crash immediately. Regular exercise gives you the stamina to handle modern stress. When you have a healthy glow and a straight posture, society naturally trusts you more because you look like a person who can carry responsibility.
Chapter 3: Cultural Capital. Upgrading your internal software. And trust me, you need to install regular updates. Cultural capital is a fascinating sociological concept. It refers to your knowledge, your skills, your education, and your ability to navigate different social environments. It is what makes you fit in and stand out at the same time. The balance of hard skills and soft skills. First, you obviously need the hard professional skills. You need the actual competence to do your job so you do not get fired on your second day. However, hard skills are just the baseline. They are the ticket to enter the stadium, but they do not guarantee that you will play in the game. What really sets you apart are your soft skills. Can you communicate complex ideas simply? Can you write a polite, professional email to your boss without sounding like an angry robot or a desperate teenager? Do you know how to disagree with a colleague without starting a world war in the office? This is emotional intelligence, and it is a massive part of your cultural capital. Understanding the unspoken rules. Every workplace, every industry, and every social circle has unspoken rules. We call this workplace culture or social etiquette. Part of stepping into the real world is becoming a sharp observer. You need to read the room. Notice how people talk to each other, how decisions are made, and what kind of behavior is rewarded. The power of general knowledge. Cultural capital also includes your personal taste, your hobbies, and your general knowledge. It helps you connect with others effortlessly. If you can discuss a good book, understand basic current events, appreciate different types of food, or even just make a smart, well-timed joke, you instantly become a magnetic person. People do business with people they like. If you have high cultural capital, you become someone people want to work with, rather than someone they just have to tolerate because you sit at the next desk.
Chapter 4: Social Capital. Building your human ecosystem. Here is a fun but terrifying fact. You cannot survive adulthood alone. You absolutely need social capital, which is the sociological term for your network. The phrase, "it is not what you know, but who you know," is entirely true, but it is often misunderstood. Networking is not about adding hundreds of random people on LinkedIn, handing out business cards until your fingers bleed, or using people for your own benefit. Authentic social capital is about building an ecosystem of genuine trust and mutual support. The strength of weak ties. In sociology, there is a famous theory by Mark Granovetter called the strength of weak ties. We all have strong ties: our family, our partner, and our best friends. They are amazing for emotional support. But when it comes to finding a new job, discovering a new opportunity, or learning something completely different, your strong ties are usually useless because they know exactly the same things you know.
Your weak ties, like former colleagues, a person you met at a seminar, your friend's roommate, or someone you occasionally chat with at the gym, are the ones who connect you to new worlds and new information. You need to cultivate these weak ties. How to build a network without being annoying. Building a network should feel natural, not transactional. The secret is to offer value before you ask for anything. Be helpful. Be kind. Remember people's names and follow up with them. If you read an interesting article that reminds you of a former colleague, send it to them with a quick message. Furthermore, try to find a mentor. A mentor is someone who has already walked the path you want to walk. They can save you years of mistakes by giving you advice based on their own scars. But remember, a mentorship is a two-way street. You must respect their time and show that you are taking their advice seriously. Build your village, because when the storm comes, and it will, your village will keep you safe.
Chapter 5. Economic Capital, the Ultimate Safety Net. Let us be completely honest and put away the romantic ideals for a moment. Money cannot buy happiness, but it is much more comfortable to cry about your problems in a nice, air-conditioned apartment than on a cold park bench. Economic capital is your financial foundation. When you step out into the world, financial literacy is no longer an optional subject. It is the most critical survival skill you must learn. The reality of financial literacy. Schools rarely teach us how to manage money, which is a tragedy. You must educate yourself. You need to understand how cash flow works, the difference between an asset, something that puts money in your pocket, and a liability, something that takes money out of your pocket, and the magic, or the horror, of compound interest. This is not about becoming a billionaire overnight or buying a private island. It is about self-reliance. When you get your first real salary, the temptation to spend it all on expensive dinners, gadgets, and clothes to show off on social media is incredibly strong. This is called lifestyle creep. You must fight this urge. The power of saying no. The most important reason to build economic capital is not to buy luxury items. It is to buy freedom. When you have a solid emergency fund, enough money to survive for 3 to 6 months without a job, you gain the greatest superpower in adulthood, the power to say no. When you have savings, you can say no to a toxic boss who treats you terribly. You can say no to a living situation that makes you miserable. You can say no to projects that compromise your values. Money is a defensive shield that protects all your other capitals. Learn to respect it, budget it, and invest it wisely before it controls your entire life.
Chapter 6: Psychological Capital, the Antivirus System. Finally, the world changes faster than you can say technological revolution. You can have all the money, the best clothes, and a great network, but if your mind is fragile, you will break. To keep your survival backpack functioning in a chaotic world, you need a strong antivirus system, psychological capital, which consists of resilience and self-reflexivity. The art of bouncing back. Resilience. Adulthood will punch you in the face. Repeatedly. You will fail job interviews that you prepared weeks for. You will make terrible financial investments. You will trust the wrong people. And occasionally, you will ruin your expensive white shirt by washing it with a red sock. It is inevitable. Resilience is not about never failing. It is about how fast you can recover. It is the ability to bounce back from rejection, learn from the pain, and keep moving forward without losing your enthusiasm. You must understand that failure is not the opposite of success. It is a necessary stepping stone to success. The skill of self-reflexivity. Sociologist Anthony Giddens emphasized the importance of self-reflexivity in late modern society. This means taking a step back regularly to analyze your own life objectively. You need to ask yourself the hard questions. Who am I becoming? Does this career actually align with my values? Am I happy? Or am I just doing this to look impressive to people I do not even like? The world is constantly shifting. Industries die and new ones are born. The ability to unlearn outdated habits and relearn new skills is vital. Never become too attached to one version of yourself. Stay curious, stay humble, and be willing to adapt.
Conclusion: welcome to the adventure. Stepping into the real world and becoming an adult is terrifying, confusing, and utterly exhausting. But it is also the most exciting project you will ever undertake. You are finally the author of your own story. Remember that nobody has it all figured out. Even the most successful people you see are just doing their best to manage their lives day by day. Building these capitals, physical, cultural, social, economic, and psychological, is not a race. It is a lifelong marathon. You will build them slowly, brick by brick, year by year. So, pack your backpack carefully. Take care of your body so it can carry you through long days. Upgrade your skills and knowledge constantly. Treat people with genuine kindness to build your network. Save your money to buy your freedom. And above all, keep your mind strong and flexible. The real world is tough, demanding, and sometimes entirely unfair. But if you prepare yourself with these tools, you will not just survive adulthood. You will conquer it with style, grace, and a good sense of humor. Good luck out there. You are going to do great.